Whenever I listen back to something that I do, it just makes me feel weird.
Hi, my lovely.
Hi.
Welcome to America's Got Talent.
When Courtney left the America's Got Talent stage, the thunderous applause masked a crippling reality. The same teenage girl who channeled the raw confidence of Joplin on stage was secretly battling severe social anxiety and the toxicity of viral fame. Her dramatic disappearance wasn't a career misstep, it was an act of self-preservation. This report details how the collapse of her major record deal combined with relentless online hate forced the prodigy into months of agonizing isolation, revealing the devastating human cost of instant stardom and the quiet, fierce fight she waged to reclaim her voice on her own terms. The catastrophic implosion of the music deal. The greatest professional setback in Courtney's nascent career was an event entirely outside of her control: the dissolution of her foundational record label structure. The high-profile deal with Music, the key to her planned US crossover via Records, collapsed silently around 2020. This was not a mutual parting of ways, it was a corporate casualty. The label, a titan that had launched global acts like One Direction, was effectively shut down amid internal shifts and the pressures of the pandemic. For a young artist whose career was solely defined by the momentum of a reality show, this failure of infrastructure was devastating. The expected pipeline of funding, production, and marketing vanished, leaving her in a perilous state of limbo. She had traded the amateur stage for a professional promise, only to find the entire professional house had been condemned. There was no formal announcement, no statement from only the crushing silence that accompanies the retraction of a massive opportunity. This event forced her into an immediate, unplanned hiatus, fundamentally shifting her perception of the industry from a promised land to a treacherous landscape where even the most powerful entities could fail without notice. This vacuum of support left the teenage star completely exposed and required a total reevaluation of her path forward. The crippling grip of social anxiety and fame's backlash. Beneath the ferocious on-stage persona was a vulnerability that the intense spotlight quickly exploited. Courtney had long suffered from severe social anxiety, a condition that made her initial shy demeanor genuine, not a gimmick. The instantaneous global fame following AGT proved toxic to her mental health. She was ill-equipped to handle the ferocious wave of online scrutiny and hate speech that inevitably accompanies viral success. The public demanded constant perfection and transparency, a demand that clashed violently with her need for privacy and solitude. Sources close to the singer confirmed that at just 15, the pressure became overwhelming, leading to a profound period of mental health struggles. The voice that brought her fame ironically became the source of her pain, leading her to question her love for singing entirely. The celebrity status led to bullying in her UK school, compounding her isolation. The pressure pushed her into months of self-imposed seclusion, spending up to 18 hours a day in her room, fearful of interacting with the outside world, a heartbreaking sign of severe burnout exacerbated by fame's demands. This private suffering was the real reason behind her public disappearance. The necessary retreat, rebuilding personal foundations. The prolonged period of silence, perceived by the public as a career abandonment, was in fact a crucial, strategic retreat for self-preservation. Courtney consciously pulled back from all media and professional obligations to prioritize her recovery and maturity. She realized that to have any chance at a sustained career, she needed to be a mentally healthy adult, not just a traumatized teenager with a powerful voice. The time away was used to address her social anxiety, seek support, and simply live life outside the suffocating confines of the fame bubble. This gave her experiences, the mundane, the frustrating, the real, that are essential for any authentic songwriter. She allowed herself to mature without the distorting lens of global scrutiny. Crucially, the retreat enabled her to find out who she was musically, independent of the machine's vision. She could step back from the gimmick of the child singer and redefine her artistry based on genuine passion and newly developed songwriting skills. The hiatus was not a failure. It was a necessary incubation period for the authentic artist she intended to become. The declaration of independence, choosing the new path. Emerging from her personal battle, Courtney made the definitive move that sealed her future. She chose to be fully independent. This was a profound statement of self-determination, a rejection of the major label chaos that had previously defined and subsequently derailed her career. She became her own primary decision-maker, taking ownership of her masters, her publishing, and her creative direction. This bold choice meant forfeiting the massive financial cushion and promotional power of a major label, but it guaranteed absolute artistic control, which she now prioritized above all else. She was done being molded, she was ready to create. The transition was marked by her quiet confirmation that she was no longer associated with ventures, a necessary step to draw a line under the AGT past. The focus shifted entirely to the craft, honing her guitar skills, writing introspective lyrics, and producing music that reflected her mature identity, rather than catering to market trends. She embraced the slower, harder route of the independent artist, knowing that sustainability would come from authenticity, not hype. The sound evolution, from covers to original grit. The most telling evidence of her transformation was the evolution of her music. The raw power remained, but the context changed entirely. Where she was once known for electrifying covers of classic rock and soul, her return was marked by the release of powerful original singles. Tracks like Spellbound showcased an aggressive, almost punk rock edge, while others leaned heavily into her blues roots, demonstrating a nuanced understanding of genre. The lyrical content, now self-penned, addressed themes of betrayal, control, and personal struggle, narratives rooted directly in her life experiences. This was music with genuine grit and emotional depth, proving she wasn't just a vocal talent but a compelling songwriter. Her sound was now a fusion, the vintage soul of her idols married to a modern pop-punk production bite. This sound signaled a crucial maturity. She was no longer relying on the shock factor of a child's voice, but on the enduring quality of her written and performed art. This was a calculated step to establish a lasting identity in a fiercely competitive industry. The essential change in professional management. A critical part of her rebuilding phase involved overhauling her management team. After a period with a previous agency, she recognized a crucial deficiency: the lack of live performance bookings, which are the lifeblood of a rock artist. She made a decisive move, parting ways with her initial representation because they couldn't secure her gigs, and signed with Oliver at Total Artist Management. This was a clear, pragmatic business decision. It demonstrated her commitment to the practical reality of touring and connecting with fans directly. His team quickly validated the move, immediately securing a strategic flurry of live appearances, including sold-out headline shows in London and a series of dates across the UK and Portugal. These were not the massive, label-funded arena shows of the fantasy, but grassroots ticketed gigs that proved her enduring appeal and ability to draw a crowd organically. This change in management was the catalyst that finally translated her internal creative rebirth into tangible, external professional momentum. The debut album, a statement titled Little Miss Jagged. The definitive punctuation mark on her arduous journey is the announcement of her first full-length debut album, Little Miss Jagged, slated for release on September 12th. The title itself is a perfect encapsulation of her narrative, a nod to the little girl the public saw, but with the addition of jagged, symbolizing the hard-won edges and emotional complexity she acquired through struggle. This album is unique in that it is a chronological document of her growth, having been written and recorded over the span of several years, during her period of greatest transformation. The project, including production work by Grammy winner Bo, is not a rushed collection of radio hits, but a deeply personal, cohesive artistic statement. It serves as her ultimate validation, proving that the time away was spent creating a body of work worthy of the initial hype. For fans, it's the long-awaited payoff, a concrete piece of evidence that the star they believed in has not only survived but thrived on her own terms. The strategic visual and digital rebrand. Part of her return involved a complete professional digital rebrand. Understanding that she had to control her narrative, Courtney systematically wiped clean her social media presence, essentially erasing the visual legacy of her AGT run. She rebuilt her Instagram and TikTok from the ground up, moving away from the manufactured innocence of the competition to a more authentic, slightly quirky, and definitely edgier aesthetic. The goal was to establish a clear distinction. The girl who was packaged for a TV show is gone. In her place is an artist who is comfortable showcasing her own dry wit and unique style. The new visuals, often featuring a more casual, rock-infused look, are consistent with her musical shift. Most powerfully, her frequent caption, "Not a little girl anymore," serves as the new brand manifesto. It is a direct, assertive claim of adulthood and autonomy, signaling to the industry and her fans that she is now in the driver's seat, steering her career based on her own mature identity. The triumph of the independent live performer. The ultimate proof of her enduring appeal lies in the resurgence of her live performances. Despite the years of silence and the lack of major label muscle, Courtney has proven she still possesses the visceral connection with audiences that first made her famous. Reports from her recent shows, including a highly successful sold-out headline show in London, confirm that the hard-to-handle energy is not only intact but matured. As an independent artist, every ticket sold, every venue played is a direct validation of her art, not a marketing budget expenditure. This return to the stage is the essential final step of her transition, demonstrating that her power lies in the direct, unmediated interaction with the crowd, a foundation that cannot be taken away by corporate collapse. The ongoing UK and Portugal touring schedule confirms her commitment to building a career the old-fashioned way, one incredible gig at a time. The verdict from vanished star to resilient artist. The mystery of Courtney's disappearance is now solved. She didn't fail, she didn't quit. She simply paused the performance to rebuild the performer. Her journey serves as a powerful cautionary tale about the perils of instant reality TV fame and a triumphant testament to the resilience of genuine talent. The collapse of her first major deal, combined with her severe mental health struggles, necessitated a total retreat. But from that silence, she emerged not as Prodigy, but as Little Miss Jagged, a fully independent, self-aware, and creatively empowered artist. Her current trajectory is solid, defined by self-written music, a strong independent team, and a deep understanding of her own unique identity. Courtney is no longer a nostalgic memory. She is a current and future force in music, now operating entirely on her own terms.